Hello, my very dear Taurus. As I was getting ready to do your reading, I was seeing you in front of a buffet. This is your reading for the week of June 30th, July 1st, whenever you hear this. And it resonates. And it won't resonate for everybody. And I was actually, before I started doing this reading, I was thinking about who I was going to do next, and Taurus popped into my mind. And all of a sudden, there was this beautiful buffet laid out in front of me. And which is appropriate because Taurus, we know that many Taurus really appreciate living from their senses or living in their senses. Sound is important. Visuals, taste is important. And so you're in this buffet and you're looking at it, and it's a beautiful buffet. It's not, like a $9.99 one. You've got beautiful seafood and salads and all sorts of lovely things that are already there for you. But what you're not noticing is that there's a whole other layer of beautiful things up here, and you get to choose what you're going to take from there and bring down into the one that is more immediately accessible to you. So what I'm feeling as I was looking at this, I was getting this feeling, Taurus, that it really is time for you. Spirit is encouraging you to really understand that you have the capacity. I know it's said a million times, and I've said it before myself, but Taurus, you do have the ability to create, and sometimes you can create things like that. And I certainly have had that experience in my life often, where I'll wish for a couch and somebody will give me one, not once, but twice. Or different things will suddenly come into my life. And my sister would say, geez, what is it? Like, you just want something and it comes to you. And it's often happened that way. But what often happens with Taurus, because the sign is so inclined to work for things, sometimes Taurus forgets that their mind is really the big creator. Their desire is a big creator. And that they are constantly in dialogue with the universe. And part of that is because Taurus is a very grounded sign. And because they're very grounded, when you think about intuition and mediumship and psychic phenomena, you need a battery in order to be able to really receive that information, because we're talking all energy here. Well, part of the reason that a balanced, grounded Taurus can manifest like that and can be in touch with their intuition and the bigger realms, the other dimensions of life, is because they've got a strongly rooted, negative charged battery. Okay? So that's why you can manifest often like that without even really trying. So what you're being asked to do is change it up and look bigger. The image of the buffet that I'm seeing, it's like you just need to look up and let your imagination go with you. Let your imagination run. What would it be? What would you add to your buffet if your life was a buffet and you weren't just choosing from what you've already seen around you as potential? What would it be? If you were to dream in Technicolor, what would it be? Would it be a Maserati instead of a Ford? Would it be a house by the ocean instead of a beautiful condo? Would it be a relationship, but a relationship that has all these different components to it? Monogamy, loyalty, freedom, travel, personal space within the context of that, somebody that inspired creativity, somebody that you inspired. Would it be a new course of study? Geez, maybe I would like to become an Anglican priest. Not really, but maybe that is something you would want to. Think bigger, think broader, think fantastical. Not specifically to manifest all of those things, but to allow whatever structures have been holding your capability to dream, your capacity for expansion, to shatter that, to let that go, to really expand into, if you really could have whatever you wanted. So what you're being asked to do in the process of that is, Spirit is saying, change it up. Change things up. So what does that mean? Oh, there's the dogs. Not mine. The neighbors, they're talking. Perfect timing. Because they make me happy. And in the context of this reading, the energy of happy, the energy of expansion, the energy of, what if I don't have to work for it? What if it is about imagination and I'm allowed, and therefore, not only am I being told by Spirit, you're allowed, Spirit is encouraging you to expand beyond what you've expected, what you have imagined. And the way to do this, again, the change it up card, they're saying just change some of your habits. They don't have to be big, but change up the things that you do on a normal basis, because it's just part of your regular structure of living your life on a daily basis. That might mean the way you work, how you work. So the way you work might be all online. How you work might be that now you're going to do phone calls instead of emails. Where you work, are you going to go into the office? Are you going to stay home? Are you going to go and sit by the beach and do your work there? All these different things, even something simple as the time you get up in the morning, the time you go to bed. Do you take a shower? Do you take a bath? Where do you sit when you have your coffee in the morning? All these things that seem simple and mundane, the kinds of foods that you eat. Maybe you want to get a new spice mix. Maybe you want to treat yourself and eat out instead of cooking for yourself all week. Just things that are different, that take you out of the groove that you've been in, that has created a structure. Because our expectations can very much be based on the structure we're in, because it creates a kind of boundary for us within which we tend to think and operate energetically. So this is saying, to help allow your mind to imagine more, change some of those pattern behaviors. And that is going to start opening you up. Trust me, you're going to feel different. You are going to feel different. When I started doing this, like 40 some odd years ago, one of the things that I did was I changed my bus route to work. Oh my gosh, that made such a huge difference, because now all of a sudden I wasn't sure if I was going to be there on time. I saw a whole different scenery. I passed by a beautiful, beautiful place I never used to pass. I dealt with my anxiety about arriving on time. I got there early. It was just, the whole thing made my day feel completely and totally different, because I did something out of my normal mental box. You have got your main card here, my loves, is mind. Okay? The mind is not only the tool with which we interpret the world around us. The mind is the great cosmic cookie cutter which manifests our world according to its shape and the ingredients we put into it. I think that says it all. The energy you're being asked to really embody and embrace is intuition. And intuition from the point of view that you are expecting information to come to you. Act as though it's going to come. Be on the lookout for messages and signs, and check in and see, how does that feel? It's kind of going on a metaphysical adventure and looking at things beyond whatever the structure is. So choosing to say, okay, I'm going to spend this day, this week, this whatever, with deliberate intention towards intuition and interacting with that guidance from spirit, from angels, that can really start shifting what you will allow yourself to imagine, because you're opening up to possibility. Think about what it was like when you watched a movie that was a fantasy or a science fiction, or about magic, or you read a book about it, and all of a sudden now something changed in your view of your real life. I remember when I read the Narnia Chronicles, for years after, even into my adult world, I often felt as though if I just landed in the right puddle, I'd end up in Narnia, you know? So consider that. I mean, Harry Potter is brilliant for that too, because that is just so mind expanding about so many ways. Anyway, that is what I'm leaving you with, Taurus. It's the idea of changing things up so that you can allow it to help open your mindset, to realize how powerful your mind is in creating your world, to look at the next level of your buffet and decide what you'd want from there. And maybe there's octopus there and it's grilled, but what you really want is marinated. So play with the ideas, dream in Technicolor, and do your best to joyfully and playfully stay in contact with your intuition and with the other divine realms that are here to support you and lead you into something, creation and work that is happening at a whole other different level. Okay? Taurus, that's it for you today. Take care, my dears, and have fun.